These are your instructions for Monday, September 23rd. Remember, on Friday we started a new type of simplification for abstract artworks. You create an abstract artwork by starting with a photograph and then tracing it to switch it to line, and then going through and simplifying it in a series of steps. Now for my example, I have 6 different steps. You needed to have at least 4. So what that means is you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 drawings simplifying. You can have more than that, but you need at least 4. So here are some other examples. There should be a handout like this at your table. Please do not take these. This is a class set, so they need to stay on the table so each class can look at these. But you can see how different students have chosen to abstract, going from super detailed to more shape-based to then ending up with even just some lines and shapes. By the end, it should hint at what the object is, but it should not be very clear what the object is. So you do have to let go of some of those details that maybe you really want to keep. Ask yourself, what details do I really need, and how much do I need to include to hint at what the object is but not give it away? So think back to when we looked at Roy Lichtenstein's cow abstractions. We're following kind of that same process where we start with realistic inspiration and eventually it's down to just lines and shapes. So today, where I want you to start off with, wherever you left off on Friday, so go back through. You should still have your photograph. You might have your first one, your second one, whatever you have done. Now remember, I asked you not to trace in Sharpie. Well, today I want you to go back and trace it in Sharpie. So that's our starting point. So you're going to take a Sharpie. It's up to you which one you want to use. If you feel like the big ones are too hard to see some of those like small details, like a smaller Sharpie might have worked a little better for this one. I could have used a smaller one, but it does help when you retrace if you have a thicker one. So you're going to find the simpler they get, I would work with the thicker Sharpies. The Sharpies, when you're ready for them, they're up in a wooden block on the front table. Remember, it is completely full right now, so before you leave class today, all of the Sharpies have to be returned. So nobody leaves the classroom until all of the Sharpies are returned to the block. Once you have your drawing traced in Sharpie, go to the next one. So however many you have, you're going to go through each of these. Take your time, go slow, try and be accurate to how you drew it, but you're just tracing over your pencil lines. I'm moving pretty quick because I don't want this to take too long. So then I could come down here. Again, keep it simple. Try and use smooth lines. Try and be accurate to how you drew it the first time. But part of why I want you to do this is we're going to do some embellishing and enhancing activities tomorrow, and you need to be able to see your design through. So we're no longer going to be using the windows. You are going to be working from the designs that you traced the other day. So for example, if I had these, I would check to make sure all 4 steps, so here'd be 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, and then if I didn't finish my 4th one, that's where I would start today. So when I put my Sharpie drawing underneath the next one, then I could look at, okay, what are some details that I might include, what are some details that I might get rid of. So to simplify this one, I don't want to use the face anymore. I might still include this line coming down. I could simplify the face of the baby. I could have the line here. The arm is pretty important to me because it's holding the baby, so I could bring that down, and I could hint or connect this line. So think about how many lines or how few of shapes. Now if I wanted this to feel more supportive, I might bring the line down. So again, you can see, I know this is zoomed in, but you can see that this is much more simplified than this one, and I keep going. So once I have finished this, then I go ahead and trace it in Sharpie, and then I'm going to repeat my process. If you weren't here on Friday, I have given copies of all the photos to our guest teacher, so just ask. They should be in my seating chart folders for you. If you didn't request a photo, you'll just have to pick one of the extras that are available from each hour, the ones that haven't been cut apart. And then I could take my next paper, and I would do this until I have at least 4 abstractions. So this would be 1 simplified, here would be 2, 3, 4. Okay, now if you've gotten to that point and you're completely done with that, then you are going to be working on your detailed sketch in your sketchbook. Remember, this paper is in your sketchbook. It's the last one before the blank pages. At the top, it tells you what to draw. Many of you have already started on this, so that's awesome. You just pick up where you left off. If you haven't started, you're going to pick out one of these topics to draw in your sketchbook. Now remember, it's still going to be graded on the same criteria as our forms and objects. So outlines, details, and values are placed on the page neatly. Many details used to accurately represent the object, takes more than a class period, drawing in values fill more than half the page, and at least 5 different values used, black, white, and 3 grays, with gradual changes in value. So for example, this is a student from before. Let me make this a little easier to see. So you can see, fills the page, meets all the criteria. This again is another student from before. Okay, so you can see some other examples on the board. So those materials should be all available to you. Remember, the blank pages are in your sketchbooks, and then the drawing pencils are in the blue pencil boxes. At the end of the hour, please make sure that you have all of the pencils. So 5 2Hs, 5 4Bs, 5 ebonies, 5 blenders, 5 erasers. And if you're out of pencil sharpeners, there's some up on the front table in the black crate. So use your time wisely, and I will see you tomorrow.